In the somber atmosphere of ancient times, when understanding of oneself and the world was limited, there was a man who rose above the difficulties and challenges of his era. He was not a warrior with a sharp sword, but a philosopher with keen intellect. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most outstanding representatives of Stoicism. Like Miyamoto Musashi, a great samurai of Japan who found inner strength through unwavering resolve, Marcus Aurelius also carved a path filled with hardships, yet unmistakably clear in terms of ethics and philosophy. Marcus Aurelius was not only an emperor of the Roman Empire, but also a profound thinker who taught us that greatness does not lie in what we possess or our social position, but in how we control our minds and emotions. He once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Today, we will walk the path of Marcus Aurelius, exploring the lessons he left behind and how they can help us not only face challenges, but also lead us to a life full of meaning and peace. We will delve deeper into the true meaning of becoming an exemplary Stoic and how to apply these principles to every moment of our daily lives. Number 1. Deeper than broad. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "What really frightens and dismays us is not external events themselves, but the way in which we think about them. It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance." This means that we cannot control everything around us, but we can control how we understand and assess them. Stoics apply this by focusing on what is truly important to them, developing deep knowledge, and prioritizing quality over quantity. Imagine standing in front of a massive library with thousands of books. You could choose to skim them all, or you could focus on a few and read them thoroughly. This is the difference between knowing a little about everything and knowing deeply about what matters. Thus, focusing on depth and developing focused knowledge not only makes us experts, but also brings peace and satisfaction in life. But how do we know what is important and worth focusing on? Use a tool called discernment to determine what matters. Evaluate what you can control and focus on those things rather than wasting time and energy on things beyond your control. You might ask yourself, what really matters to me in life? And what is within my control? By answering these questions, you can begin to focus on what is important and develop depth in that area. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This reminds us of the value of quality over quantity. Instead of trying to know everything superficially, we should focus on understanding deeply a few important things. This not only makes us experts, but also brings satisfaction and meaning to our lives. But how do we achieve depth? First, we need to choose one or two areas that are important to us and focus on learning and developing in those areas. Instead of dispersing energy across multiple fields, we should concentrate on what truly matters. For example, if you are passionate about music, you might focus on becoming a skilled musician instead of trying to know a little about everything else. This helps you become an expert and brings satisfaction to life. Second, we need to practice patience and perseverance. Achieving depth requires time and effort, and we must be willing to invest in learning and development. You might ask yourself, how much time and effort am I willing to invest in this area? And how patient and persistent am I willing to be? By answering these questions, you can begin your journey toward achieving depth and becoming a superior Stoic. Finally, we need to accept that not everything is worth knowing. A superior Stoic understands that they cannot know everything, and they accept this. They focus on what is important and ignore what is not, and this brings them peace and happiness. In this world, we can learn from the superior Stoic by focusing on depth rather than breadth. By devoting our minds to what truly matters, we not only become experts, but also achieve deep satisfaction, living a meaningful, fulfilling, and complete life. Depth brings us peace and happiness, helping us live as true Stoics with hearts and souls filled with emotion and tranquility. Number 2, dominate inner peace. Inner peace is something everyone desires, but not everyone can achieve. Seeking a bit of tranquility in one's soul has become harder than ever. However, with the philosophy of Stoicism, mastering inner peace becomes feasible and easier. Stoicism teaches us that peace is not the absence of turmoil, but the presence of calmness in the soul, even amidst the most challenging circumstances. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This statement captures the essence of Stoic philosophy regarding inner peace. We cannot control everything around us, but we can control our reactions to them. This power of detachment is what Stoics excel in using to maintain peace within their souls. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to let go of what is beyond our reach. By doing so, we can reduce anxiety and stress and achieve inner peace. A superior Stoic is someone who knows how to let go of unnecessary burdens and instead focuses on controlling themselves. To practice this philosophy, you might ask yourself, what in my current life is bothering me that I cannot control? By recognizing and letting go of these things, you can move a step closer to inner peace. A typical example is in the workplace, where the environment is often competitive and pressured. You may encounter an unpleasant colleague or a demanding boss. These situations can make you feel out of control and stressed. However, according to Stoic philosophy, you cannot control their actions, but you can control how you respond. Imagine a day when a colleague accidentally or intentionally does something that angers you. You could choose to react angrily, but that would only increase conflict and disturb your inner peace. Instead, If you choose to control your emotions, calmly face the situation, and not let negative feelings take over, you will find that stress and conflict decrease. By focusing on what they can control, Stoics create a peaceful and happy life, despite what is happening around them. They realize that peace is not the result of everything turning out the way they want, but from accepting things as they occur. If you are also seeking inner peace, or have faced similar challenges, how do you see Stoic philosophy helping you achieve peace? Please share your thoughts and stories in the comments. Number 3. Cultivate contentment. Contentment is a state of peaceful happiness, an acceptance of our place and who we are without longing for more or harboring bitterness about what we lack. In the philosophy of Stoicism, cultivating contentment is considered a crucial element for a fulfilling and meaningful life. This philosophy guides us to look inward, be satisfied with what we have, and focus on what truly matters. True contentment begins with self-awareness and understanding our desires. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This statement emphasizes the importance of appreciating what we have, rather than lamenting what we lack. By focusing on our own life and the blessings within it, we can overcome feelings of envy and dissatisfaction, leading to a peaceful and joyful existence. A specific example of the harm of envy can be seen in the case of a young professional who frequently compares himself to peers his age. Despite having a successful career and a loving family, he often finds himself envious of his colleagues' achievements. This envy has clouded his appreciation for his own accomplishments and led to a state of continual discontent. Only by adopting a Stoic mindset, focusing on his personal progress, and being grateful for what he has, did he find peace and fulfillment. This transformation highlights the power of nurturing contentment and the liberation it brings. In Stoicism, the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, encourages us to accept our circumstances and find joy in whatever happens to us. This perspective promotes contentment by helping us accept and appreciate life as it is, rather than longing for something different. By loving our fate, we align our desires with reality, creating a state of harmonious and peaceful well-being. Moreover, the practice of negative visualization in Stoicism can help us cultivate contentment by reminding us of the impermanence of everything. By reflecting on the loss of what we have, we learn to deeply appreciate it, fostering gratitude and contentment. This practice shifts our focus from what we lack to what we possess, creating a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Seneca, another renowned Stoic philosopher, eloquently stated, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This wisdom encourages us to live in the present, cherish the moment, and be content with what we have now, instead of worrying about what we might gain or lose in the future. Cultivating contentment is not about complacency or lack of ambition. Instead, It involves recognizing and valuing what truly matters. It's an understanding that true wealth does not lie in material possessions, but in a peaceful and contented soul. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control external events, but we can control our attitudes and reactions. By choosing to be content, we control our own happiness and peace, leading to a meaningful and joyful life. In summary, nurturing contentment is an important aspect of the lifestyle of advanced Stoics. It involves appreciating what we have, focusing on personal progress, and aligning our desires with reality. Through practices like amor fati and negative visualization, we can overcome envy and dissatisfaction, leading to a peaceful and fulfilled life. Comment. Practice amor fati if you've learned the lesson of cultivating contentment in life. Number 4. Separation and freedom. Have you ever felt lost in life or dissatisfied with where you are? Are there times when you feel like your surroundings dictate your mood and happiness? In a life full of changes and challenges, such feelings are not uncommon. However, for a Stoic, the place of residence is just a small part of life and not a determinant of happiness. Instead, they focus on building inner freedom and the ability to accept any circumstance. This is the approach of a superior Stoic, someone who understands that detachment and freedom are crucial elements in finding peace of mind. Detachment, from the perspective of Stoicism, is the ability to separate emotions and thoughts from external factors. A classic example of detachment is Emperor Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers. He once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This quote reflects Marcus's deep understanding of the importance of remaining calm and not letting the external environment affect one's mind. In everyday life, detachment helps us face challenges without being swept up in negative emotions. It allows us to stand firm against fluctuations and remain unaffected by external factors that we cannot control. For instance, when living in a less than ideal environment, detachment helps you find joy and happiness from within, rather than waiting for the surroundings to change. Freedom in Stoicism is not just physical freedom, but more importantly, mental freedom. Epictetus, another renowned Stoic philosopher who was once a slave before becoming a philosopher, wrote, "Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself." In this way, Epictetus shows that true freedom lies in our ability to control our thoughts and reactions. In reality, spiritual freedom allows us to live happily regardless of circumstances. For example, even if we live in an imperfect place, we can still feel free and happy by changing our perspective and thoughts. Spiritual freedom helps us face difficulties and find peace of mind. Detachment and freedom are two important factors that help Stoics excel in facing any circumstance in life. By detaching emotions from the surrounding environment and keeping the mind free from negative thoughts, they can live happily and peacefully, no matter where they are. This shows us that happiness does not come from the surrounding environment, but from within us. Consider the case of a friend who lives in a small apartment and feels uncomfortable due to the cramped space. However, by applying Stoic philosophy, this friend has learned to detach their emotions from their living space and focus on the positives in life. As a result, they have found satisfaction and peace, even though the living space has not changed. In summary, detachment and freedom are important values in Stoic philosophy, helping us face housing issues and find peace of mind. By focusing on detachment and freedom, we can overcome difficulties related to our living situation and lead a happy and meaningful life. Have you ever felt uncomfortable with where you live? How can you apply Stoic philosophy to find peace and freedom in that situation? Share your story with us in the comments below. Number 5. Live without regrets. Like a compass guiding a ship across the vast ocean, our lives are a series of choices and actions, each step shaping our direction. Living without regret is something many people desire, akin to a ship always finding its way to a safe harbor after a challenging journey. With Stoic philosophy, we have a clear map to guide us towards that goal. In a world full of turmoil and change, detachment and freedom are precious compasses, helping us navigate challenges and find peace. Approaching Stoic principles in this context is a clear demonstration of how to act proactively and wisely approach life. The story of Epictetus is a testament to detachment and freedom. Despite being a slave, he did not let his circumstances control his life. Instead, he focused on what he could control, such as his thoughts, reactions, and attitudes. This allowed him to live a life of freedom, unconstrained by external circumstances. Similarly, in modern life, we often get caught up in wanting a perfect living place, a beautiful home, or a convenient location. However, being overly dependent on these things only makes us anxious and insecure. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on controlling ourselves, rather than allowing external factors to control us. A Stoic approach is not just about accepting circumstances, but also about proactively creating a life that aligns with one's values. And true freedom and the ability to accept any circumstance are the keys to real happiness. For example, a person living in a small apartment, but knowing how to enjoy and appreciate the little things in life will be happier than someone in a large house who is always dissatisfied and craving more. Living simply and being grateful for what we have is a Stoic approach that helps us achieve peace and freedom. Detachment and freedom are two important aspects of Stoic philosophy. When we learn to detach ourselves from unimportant matters, we achieve inner freedom. This does not mean that we must give up everything or live in isolation, but rather we need to recognize what truly matters and focus on that. The principle of Stoicism emphasizes living in the present and adhering to our own values and principles. A proficient Stoic always considers carefully before acting, ensuring that their actions align with their core values. By practicing Stoic principles, we can avoid regrets and live a meaningful and fulfilled life. In summary, the Stoic approach to living without regret is an excellent example of how we can lead a life of freedom and peace. By detaching from non-essential elements and focusing on what truly matters, we can find happiness and meaning regardless of the circumstances. Number 6. Revealing peace. Have you ever felt like life becomes too difficult, or that you're caught in a spiral of worries and fears? How can we achieve peace in such situations? Stoic philosophy provides us with a powerful tool to achieve inner peace. But is indifference merely coldness, or does it have a deeper meaning? And how can we practice Stoic indifference to achieve peace and happiness? These questions lead us to the power of indifference in Stoic philosophy. Indifference is not about being cold-hearted, but about remaining calm in the face of things we cannot control. Worrying about things beyond our control only brings stress and unease. Stoic philosophy reminds us that there are many things in life outside our control, such as the weather, the behavior of others, or random events. By focusing on indifference, we can accept things as they come and enjoy inner peace. A specific example of this is when we face unexpected changes in life, like losing a job, illness, or a breakup. In such situations, we can choose to react with calmness and acceptance and move forward, or we can worry, be resentful, and fall into a spiral of suffering. Stoic indifference is not about ignoring emotions, but about choosing to face them with a peaceful mind. A Stoic excels not just in indifference, but also uses it as a tool to guide their actions. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the famous Stoic philosophers, practiced indifference by accepting whatever happened to him, but always acted with patience and purpose. He did not let external factors affect his decisions and actions, always focusing on doing the right thing. Think about situations in your life where you feel out of control or anxious. You may find that many of these worries come from trying to control the uncontrollable. How can you practice indifference in such situations? Try applying this Stoic principle and see the difference it makes for you. The power of indifference in Stoicism lies in helping us focus on what truly matters. Instead of worrying about things beyond our control, we focus on self-improvement, acting with patience, and accepting things as they come. This not only brings inner peace, but also makes us stronger and more resilient in life. Indifference is not an act of escaping reality, but a wise and serene acceptance of the unchangeable. This is the source of strength for the superior Stoic, who knows how to build a peaceful, meaningful, and happy life. By practicing indifference, we free ourselves from useless worries, focus on what we can control, and thus discover deep peace within ourselves. By following the path of Stoicism, we not only find tranquility, but also become superior individuals, stable in a life full of changes. What do you think about the power of indifference in Stoic philosophy? Share your thoughts and experiences on practicing indifference to achieve inner peace in life. Your insights could be a guiding light for someone. Share in the comments. Number 7. Getting over goodbye. Parting is like the last autumn when the yellow leaves fall, marking the end of a season of proliferation, giving way to the silence of winter. However, just as each season has its own significance in the natural cycle, every farewell in our lives is not merely an end, but a fresh start for other journeys. Followers of Stoic philosophy, who excel in self-discipline, understand this well and know how to harness the power of patience and inner peace to face farewells. Consider the story of a soldier returning from battle. Many times he had to say goodbye to his comrades and family, uncertain of the day he would return. Yet, this soldier did not let sorrow dominate him. He chose to embrace each departure as a part of his life, as valuable lessons and opportunities for growth. This not only kept his spirit strong, but also brought calmness, accepting that each departure could be a turning point, leading to profound personal development. What Stoicism teaches us is that every goodbye, no matter how sad, contains a spiritual gift. It is an opportunity to cultivate patience, to focus on personal development rather than succumb to sorrow. This acceptance not only alleviates pain, but also opens up a vast space of the soul where peace and satisfaction can flourish. Stoics do not merely view farewells as an inevitable part of life, but also as a means to achieve wisdom and deep understanding. By embracing separation not only with acceptance, but also with gratitude, they transform even the most painful moments into the most valuable lessons. Life may constantly present farewells, but with the Stoic spirit, each goodbye is a step forward on the path toward peace and satisfaction. It is a path that always strives for elevation in every event, whether joy or sorrow. As we tread the path of an exceptional Stoic, we learn to master inner peace and live a life without regrets. Through the Stoic lessons and principles we've explored, I hope you have found insights to apply to your own life. If you liked this video, please comment yes or no. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Continue watching the displayed videos at the end to stay on the journey of embracing Stoic philosophy. Let's keep exploring and overcoming challenges together.